Hello again. We're back for another installment of our Let's Play here. And to refresh your memory, we've left Guardia, and we're now in the town of Karzai, and we just walked into Galdar's brother's house. I think it's a twin brother, because it looks exactly like him. I mean, that could be because there's only one Minotaur sprite, really. But let's just say they're twins. That makes it go down a little easier, I suppose. So yeah, this is Galdar's brother, Zar, who still stayed in their hometown after Galdar was kicked out. And we're going to get that story in a moment. But for right now, they're asking him, if they've seen Lysander. He mentions Lysander's orange cloak, which is interesting. I pretty much did that so that, players could tell them apart. Because, otherwise they have the same sprite. But in all the flashbacks, his cloak is green, like Arius' is, because that's, how it's supposed to be. So Turnus and Galdar are going to, go to their room. And then Arius is curious about the chatter he's heard from the Karzai folks about Galdar. And Zar thinks that they should know that story about why he left town. So he's about to tell it. And all this music that I use for these scenes, this is actually from the 25th Hour soundtrack, that Spike Lee movie. And it was really good. I really loved that music. And it just sort of had this kind of like dignity to it, a little bit of mystery and whatnot. And, so I thought that'd be nice for Galdar. And plus, I love something that's got a consistent melody that, gets played different times, with different tempos, different moods. I can't get enough of that stuff. If I had my own composer, I'd probably drive him nuts with that. But, so they're talking now about this family in town, the Raldos. Where's Raldos? But, who, they're racist pricks, and they hate Galdar's family because they're not human and that they're wealthy. And so this is interesting too, in contrast to Master of the Wind. Just the whole thing about like wealth and the whole class warfare in Master of the Wind, which I was sort of kind of deconstructing that soundbite, the class warfare soundbite. But this is a much different take on it. But Galdar is going to hang out with a friend of his in the inn, and this is where he refused to go in. He refused to go in this building when we first got to town, and you're going to find out why in a minute. Now, Galdar is mourning the loss of his parents, who died at approximately the same time. Not foul play, though. They caught some virus. And now this Raldo guy's going to come over here and give him shit. And the thing is with Galdar, even though his family has a lot of money, it never really meant much to him. He knows that, it doesn't, there's only so much it can do for you. It's not gonna, fix all your problems. And so these are like resentful, white trash types, I guess. And so, they're sort of accosting him here, and then it's gonna get bad. So he cuts Galdar, and then Galdar just kind of gives him a good whack. Well, that's a weird little delayed reaction there. Almost like time stood still for a second. So now the guy, Galdar hit the guy a little too hard. He's dead. But it was interesting because Galdar, this is probably one of the only times Galdar ever lost his cool, and it got him exiled. So now I guess he's even more conscious of keeping himself under control. Because he didn't want to kill that guy, he just wanted to shut him up. And it's just, he just lost control and hit him as hard as he could. And when you're a, giant Minotaur, that's pretty hard. So that, that was it for him. And there's like 4 other Raldo brothers, there's a bunch of them. And, we're going to meet most of them in this Karzai arc, which is not as long as the Guardia arc, but there, a lot of stuff happens. So Zar's, wrapping up the story, and now he's talking about the Wyvern Fang, or he will soon. Yeah, Karzai has enough problems already. And and that's the cult that, you know, Arius and the others got into a bit of a scuffle with last time. You know, they were trying to extort money from him, and then Turnus told them off like he's good for. And then, you know, they had a fight and had him running scared. And there's a bunch of them, you know, prowling around the town, you know, causing trouble. So, you know, this is, you know, obviously, you know, it doesn't take a veteran of RPGs to figure out that, you know, we're going to have to deal with these guys. You know, when you're the playable character, solving the world's problems falls to you. Alright, so I think now we're gonna wrap up this conversation here. And then there's another dream, another one of Arius' dreams about his life as Lysander. And this is his sister, who's right behind him. They're talking about the Dragoons now, and which Lysander hasn't really been keeping track of, but he probably should have, because, you know, they're going to mess up his big plan later, or at least the last one will. And so this is Lysander's sister, and she is sort of, even though she lives in Gallia, she really is repulsed by the city's, you know, ideology, the whole religious bigotry that makes them think that they can just go all over the world and wipe out anyone who's inhuman, because supposedly Arcadius wants it that way. And, you know, the lack of proof doesn't really stop them. And she mentions their mother, who was also against it. So it was really, you know, their family was divided. But Lysander sided with his father, who was, you know, a hardcore devotee of the whole Gallian idea. And he's lecturing her now, saying, like, oh, you don't get it. You know, if you were more mature, you'd understand that we have to kill other people for bullshit. And she's, you know, she's really upset because, you know, she has some good memories when they were little of, you know, spending time with him. And then she's, you know, oh man, who is he, Mitt Romney? Ooh. Just calling her a moocher, basically. And then that didn't go well. Oh, yeah, that was unfortunate. And now Arius is, you know, is really disturbed by that memory. And then, let's see, let's find Nova here. Hey, don't ignore me. Okay, so there, she noticed, since their beds are like right next to each other, that he was not having a pleasant experience while he was sleeping. And yeah, so we're gonna gather up all my party members here. Let's go find Turnus. And it looks like he slept like a rock, and he actually sleeps in the helmet. I think they comment on that, you know, later in the game. And then Galdar. And Galdar overheard them, you know, telling the story, and he feels bad that, you know, they had to hear it from his brother and not him. But you know, he's carrying around a lot of you know, a lot of shame and guilt for that whole incident. And really, there's, you know, he has a lot in common with Arius now, because Arius is, you know, all these memories are coming back where Lysander was a jerk, and he feels, you know, bad about it. And so they both are kind of you know, dealing with the past. A lot of this game is about the past, actually. I'm starting to realize that. In terms of, you know, how we cope with the past. It's, you know, it's interesting. I didn't really think about that back then. So they're all set to leave Karzai now, but then Czar mentions this tree of knowledge, which is one of the cornier little plot points that I came up with. It's this like giant tree, or yeah, he's telling the story now that the village elder found this little seed that was like magical, and he planted it, and it's grown into this tree which can like communicate telepathically with people and knows everything, or mostly everything. I'm sure somebody asked it what the meaning of life was, and it probably said, you know, I don't know. But it knows, you know, it knows kind of like, you know, more less cosmic information. You know, they want to ask it where Lysander is, and it will probably know that. So they're gonna go meet with the elder who lives at the top of the mountain. Let's talk to some of these NPCs though. Hi. And oh. Oh my god, forgot about that. That's actually Art Bain's voice from you know, this thing we recorded years ago, and he's just shouting. It has a context, but I think it's actually funnier without context. Oh, that's a Group X reference. That's funny. Why anyone go to a lousy place like this? And so yeah, they're talking here, and talk to this lady about the scenery. Oh, I'm not gonna tell her to deal with. No, that's mean. Yeah, so I'll reassure her there, because I like looking at scenery too. You know, going to national parks and stuff. That's awesome. So here we're meeting with the elder, and they're asking about the tree. But you know, it's not gonna be that easy. There's no way we're just walking up and using that tree. You know, we gotta prove our worth. And you know, they hope, you know, they want to just use Divine Lysander, but it's not gonna be that easy. And you know, it's kind of funny. Turnus is going to explode about this once they're done. But he's not going to yell at the old man. He has at least enough sense not to do that. And so yeah, he's saying, yep, here we go, the Wyvern Fang again. We're going to have to deal with these guys. Oh, they're in a volcano. Oh, that's right. Yeah, that's going to be cool. You know, never mind convection. But we can walk around a volcano. It's cool. And let's see. No, I can't get that yet. So we're gonna walk around here. Gonna leave the building, and this is bullshit. Oh man, he's really bad. He's going we're already in the middle of a quest. Now we got another one. But Arius decided to let him finish, and he appreciates that. Just kind of get his anger out. And Galdar appreciates that he didn't, you know, tell off the old man. He's got, you know, a modicum of you know, manners sometimes. And so they realize that there's really no way they can get out of it, and that they need to go deal with the Wyvern Fang. It's a bit like the Ember Mages thing in Boreal. Though, I mean, I think the Ember Mage thing was tied in a little bit better with the main plot. But yeah, so we're gonna leave town and head over to the volcano, and then I guess I'll probably can't move it. I guess I'll probably stop this Let's Play, you know, before we go in, because that's, you know, going to be a whole dungeon, and I'm already been going for a while now. And okay, let's look at it here. The volcano should be right next door. Yep. Okay. I don't want to go in yet, but I will next time. Peace.